Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of wrestling inside the WWE world. In today's bonus segment, I'll be discussing how I would book the second ever WWE's Women's Evolution card. So, we are a month away from the second ever Women's Evolution card. The women have done a great job, and WWE has done a great job making women's wrestling feel important to wrestling fans. The evolution that took place a decade ago in 2015 have catapulted the women to new heights and new levels in women's wrestling. They're headlining and main eventing WrestleManias. Women's world titles are more important than ever. There's mid-card women's titles, tag team women's titles. This is a step up from what the women that were a part of the Attitude Era and the women that competed in the Divas area, as I get tongue-tied, era where they had to wrestle on bra and panties, and wrestling fans didn't view them as anything more than just someone that you could see in their lingerie on an episode of Raw or SmackDown whenever necessary. So the WWE women have done a great job, and this is how I would book the Evolution card. So match number one, I would have Liv Morgan versus Roxan Perez, or have Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez defend the women's tag team titles against Roxanne Perez and a partner for choosing. But I like the idea of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez going one-on-one with each other. Now, I think this would be a good match. The storytelling is already there, with Roxanne Perez trying to weasel her way into the Judgment Day while Liv Morgan was away from TV filming a new movie. And Roxanne Perez flirting with Dominic Mysterio. Somehow, someway, Dominic Mysterio is in another love story angle. And now it seems like Liv Morgan is not happy with Roxanne Perez. It seems like she doesn't want her a part of the Judgment Day. So what better way to have these two women a part of the Evolution card that battle against each other one-on-one? Or have Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez defend the women's tag team titles against Roxanne Perez and a partner of her choosing. But I like the idea of a women's one-on-one match, I think, with a lot of time and a lot of effort that these two women could put in the ring with each other. I think that would be a spectacular match. But I would have Liv Morgan go over Roxanne Perez in this particular one-on-one match. Now, in the next match, I would have Stephanie Valker versus Julia in a one-on-one match. Now, the reason why I say this is because there's some unfinished business between Stephanie Valker and Julia that they had in NXT, where it was a winner-take-all match for the NXT Women's title and the NXT Women's North American title. And the match was good, yes, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like it was too short. And I just wanted a little bit more from that night that we've seen take place, where the match took place in the theater of Madison Square Garden on an episode of NXT. And I think Stephanie Valker being called up to the main roster now, she'll be part of Raw, I believe, after she lost the NXT title against JC Jane, and Julia being on SmackDown for one night only, we could probably have these two women collide against each other one-on-one. The in-ring chemistry is there, and I think they could possibly steal the show for Evolution. I would have Stephanie Valker go over on Julia here with an entertaining one-on-one match between two women that are going to be the future of the women's division for years and years to come in the WWE. Now, next match, I would have Lyra Valkyria defend her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Bayley and Becky Lynch. Now, storyline-wise, this match makes a lot of sense, because you had, at WrestleMania, it was supposed to be Lyra Valkyria and Bayley challenge for the women's tag team titles against Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, but Bayley was attacked and written off WrestleMania, has not been on WWE television since, and Becky Lynch took her spot to team up with Lyra Valkyria. The team of Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria won the women's tag team titles, but then dropped it 24 hours later on the Raw after WrestleMania. So once that happened, you have Becky Lynch turn on Lyra Valkyria after being frustrated she lost the women's tag team titles, turning heel. They have been feuding for the women's Intercontinental title since, but this would be a good way to insert Bayley back into the feud, because she has unfinished business with Lyra Valkyria for the women's Intercontinental title. Remember, she did pin Lyra Valkyria months ago in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and then Becky Lynch attacked Bayley to take her place at WrestleMania 41 Night 2. So the triple threat match would be great between three outstanding women that are very talented. I would have Lyra Valkyria retain the women's Intercontinental title, going over against 2 out of the 4 horsewomen, Becky Lynch and Bayley. That would be the biggest win of her career. What better way to do it at a women's only pay-per-view and Evolution, when you're supposed to show the importance of the woman that will be carrying this company on their back for the next several years in the women's division. That would be a great call there. Next match, I would have Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. Now, both of these women, I feel like, are heading into a feud for there's certain type of run-ins that they had on the blue brand of SmackDown as of late. It seems like the seeds are being planted for a future feud in the very near future. But I feel like this would be good because they had history from being a part of NXT in that women's division over in NXT years and years ago. They also have basically, I mean, Alexa Bliss doesn't have as many world titles as Charlotte Flair, but they both have been very dominant in the later 2010s decade holding the women's world titles. They're both great in-ring performers, great on the microphone. I think you can't go wrong with this feud happening, and they've worked with each other several times in the past, and I don't think Alexa Bliss has actually defeated Charlotte Flair in one-on-one competition on the main roster. I might be wrong about that, but I think this would be great for Alexa Bliss to go over on Charlotte Flair here to set up a possible feud that could go on for the whole entire duration of the summer while Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are outside of the women's world title picture on SmackDown. But I would go with this route with Alexa Bliss going over on Charlotte Flair. Next match, I would have Bianca Belair versus Naomi. Now, I know Bianca Belair is written off of television. I think it was only because of a finger injury, but she's set to return tomorrow on SmackDown. But I feel like Bianca Belair and Naomi have some unfinished business here. They're former women's tag team champions. We know the history of Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill, their friendship. And we know that Naomi was the one who attacked Jade Cargill, but we never got the full answers of, was it Bianca Belair that wanted Jade Cargill taken out in the first place by the orders of Bianca Belair, and Naomi being a good friend taking out Jade Cargill? Because Naomi keeps saying, I did it for you, B. I did it for you, B. You ungrateful bitch. And then it nearly slipped. The SmackDown before WrestleMania, Naomi said, we got some things to talk about. That never got addressed. And with Bianca Belair returning to the blue brand of SmackDown, I feel like this would be a perfect spot at Evolution to have Bianca Belair versus Naomi for a one-on-one match on Evolution. Both would have great in-ring chemistry with each other. Both are phenomenal wrestlers. Naomi has been tremendous since turning heel, and Bianca Belair is already an athletic, great in-ring performer, just like Naomi is. So I think that would be a great match, and I would have Bianca Belair go over on Naomi in this match to set up a fantastic feud for the summer in the women's division. We need more feuds outside of the women's championships across the board in women's wrestling. What better way to go with Bianca Belair and Naomi kicking off their feud at Evolution? Next match would be Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's championship. Now, this is a long shot of happening, but why not? Both women are powerhouses. Both could be the future of women's wrestling, and they mixed it up on SmackDown, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, and they showed some solid in-ring chemistry, but I think this is a match that we could easily revisit. I feel like Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill would hit it out of the park. Being a part of this match, I think this would be something to basically show an evolution of what is to come. Again, Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill are two women that I could see carrying this women's division for the next 35 years in the company. But I think this would be a solid babyface versus babyface match. Oh, excuse me. I would have Tiffany Stratton go over on Jade Cargill to successfully retain the women's title. But I think this is a great idea, and a great idea that should be pitched out for the card to have Tiffany Stratton defend her title on the card against an up-and-coming rising star and Jade Cargill. And in the main event of Evolution, I would have Eio Sky defend her women's world title against Ria Ripley. Now, I think a lot of people say this match is overplayed, but I think Eio Sky and Ria Ripley have great in-ring chemistry. The story is there, and if you could even revisit WrestleMania 41 Night 2, it was Eio Sky that pinned Bianca Belair in the triple threat match with Eio Sky, Bianca Belair, and Ria Ripley. So it wasn't Ria Ripley who took the pin at WrestleMania 41, but the women's world title, Eio Sky captured from Ria Ripley, and the story is there that Ria Ripley has never defeated Eio Sky in one-on-one competition on NXT, Raw, SmackDown, ever. in the WWE. So it'd be a desperate Rhea Ripley trying everything she can to finally defeat rival and Eio Sky to reclaim the women's world title. I think this would be an outstanding match. Hot take, I would have Rhea Ripley turn heel using dirty tactics, but again, it would be sort of strange for the WWE to turn Rhea Ripley heel when she's one of the most over baby faces in the company. But regardless, I would have this as the main event of Evolution, with Rhea Ripley winning the women's world title against Eio Sky in the main event of Evolution. But I know that's a lot of matches. Triple H's wrestling PLE format is around 5 matches, but the women have done a great job for women's wrestling. I feel like they deserve at least 6 to 8 matches on this Evolution Part 2 card, the second ever Evolution card. We haven't seen this event take place since 2018, so we might as well make it feel as special as possible. Try to stack as many women as you can, have more than 5 matches. Again, 6 to 8 I think is very fair. But hey, that's my WWE Women's Evolution Dream Card, and that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.